Welcome back to Mitten Marijuana, the podcast where we talk about the good stuff. I'm Joe.
And I'm Chloe.
Today we have a fun episode that I honestly didn't think we'd ever really get around to doing. I figured eventually, but certainly not this soon after the creation of the podcast. But today, I went on a field trip all of last week to Alaska. And while I was there, I was comparing and contrasting Michigan weed to Alaskan weed.
Mm-hmm.
Alaska's had weed legal longer than us, so I had high hopes. And we also had a friend that lived in Alaska that said Alaskan weed is way better.
Yeah, they swore
I had to put that to the
up
test.
and down that Alaskan weed was the best weed. No other state could compare.
Mm-hmm. Now, to be fair, I do obviously have
Bit of a
bias. I have a dog in the fight being Michigan. It is Michigan. It is called Mitten Marijuana after all.
Mm-hmm.
But so obviously I went in like there's no way. But I didn't want to. I did my best to be as impartial as I could. As far as the flavor of the weed, I was impartial as hell. The flavor was the same.
Yeah, weed
it
is
tasted
weed.
the same. Yeah, weed's weed. I tried not to like get wild strains that I've never heard of, just for like that for the flavor comparison. But I did smoke quite a few different strains. I have a picture of all of the ones, not all of the ones, but of most of them. I did get a bunch of different joints throughout the week I was there. I didn't smoke every day, but I smoked almost every day. So I do that kind of normally. I smoke almost every day.
You were there for 7 days.
Yeah, I smoked almost all 7. I think I
like 5 of the days.
5. Yeah, probably 5. I might have missed 2 days. Maybe even only 1, but you know.
And how many times during those days did you smoke? Just once, or was it like morning,
once or
evening?
Twice. Once or twice.
Okay.
Sometimes twice, sometimes once. But
well, yeah, that's what once or twice means.
Right. I'm aware of what it means.
I know.
Well, I'm trying to think back and be like, how often? Like, did I smoke twice every day? No. I would like to say I probably smoked twice 4 of the 5 days I definitely smoked. Okay. I think I smoked 6 days. Definitely twice. I'll say definitely 3 days. 3 days I definitely did twice. I did 2 days. Not necessarily once in the morning, once at night, but
so there's mild ambiguity, but there's baselines.
Yeah, I didn't smoke. I wouldn't say I smoked more than I normally smoke.
And did you smoke different strains when you did smoke multiple times?
Not necessarily. I smoked mostly sativa because that's what I typically smoke.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, did you smoke, like, an OG Kush in the morning and then, like,
I
something else in the
smoked 2 different strains most of the time.
Okay.
Because I wanted kind of a bigger variety of weed. So
that's where a lot of this is going to come into play.
Right. Some of the flavors, some of the strains, flavors. Listen to me. So silly. Some of the ones I got the first day, Chimney Fire. I think it was Matanuska Thunderfuck. The Northern Lights. So, MTF and Chimney Fire are sativas. Northern Lights is an indica. I don't think I took photos of any of the other ones I smoked, but I do remember. I guess the only other 2 that I really smoked were Green Crack and Jack Harrer. And we've smoked Green Crack before.
Have we? I don't remember it.
Yeah, we didn't review it though. It was just one that we just smoked. Like, just so happened to smoke.
I do not recall.
Yeah, everyone really hypes it up. That's what that one girl said she smoked that TikTok you sent me.
I know. I was just about to bring it up, actually.
Yeah, that's what she smoked, and I guess if there was an earthquake happening while I smoked it, it probably would have freaked me out. But I wouldn't say it was that crazy. But then again, I do have a higher tolerance than I guess the average smoker.
Then mine must be astronomical.
Yeah, you have a pretty high tolerance.
I really do.
Yeah.
But for context, I saw this TikTok of this girl talking about how she went to a dispensary in California and got green crack as weed to smoke as recommended by her bud tender, who said that it was the strongest shit he'd ever smoked. She completely forgot about that comment, smoked the whole joint, and then thought that she was having like a severe panic attack because her whole body and like her whole apartment was shaking. She went on Facebook hours later to find out that there had been an earthquake, and that was the first time she had ever experienced an earthquake since living in California in like 3 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty funny.
So
pretty really funny, honestly.
Yeah, she admitted that it was really funny.
What are the odds?
That she thought she was having a panic attack because she overdid it, and then come to find out it was just an earthquake. So yeah, I would be freaked out too if I was high and experiencing an earthquake unknowingly.
Yeah, so I am right now taking a bit of a tolerance break.
Me too.
So after not getting super stoned in Alaska, I definitely got stoned a few times. So I wouldn't say the weed's so bad I didn't get high. I got high.
But at what cost?
And we'll get into that. I'm glad you asked because, oh my God, it's so expensive up there, dude. On average, I don't know if I wrote down the averages, but it was like $8 on average for weed.
For a pre-roll?
For a pre-roll. And the pre-rolls are only half grammers. They're not full grams. I asked them why. Or I asked them why they don't have whole gram pre-rolls. And they said, well, we do, but they're not as popular as the half grams. And I asked how much... Oh, yeah,
because they're like $30.
I asked how much a gram roll is, and she said $15. I'm like, oh, well, that's fucking why, dude. Holy shit. And a few other differences they have. They have a 1 ounce limit, daily limit. You can only get an ounce, which sounds like very little weed. But for Alaskan prices, you gotta be Bill fucking Gates to be limiting out in Alaska. So
I guess, yeah, I just thought about that because I'm like, really, only an ounce?
That's what I said to the guy.
That's
like,
it?
I don't think. So I also at one of the stores at Honey Pot specifically, which is a great little shop. I liked it. All the shops were kind of smaller. They weren't like giant stores like we got.
Mm.
And there was another big difference.
Yeah, because they don't need to accommodate a lot of people because you have to be, again, Bill Gates to buy.
So they don't check people in. You don't give someone at the desk your card, and they put you in the system, and they send you back when there's an opening. They don't have the limit to 2 customers per bud tender. They do call them bud tenders.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like a moron trying to ask them what the job title was without like saying bud tender because I didn't want to put that. You know, I wanted to see what they would say.
Yeah, in case that was derogative to them, kind of thing.
Well, no, because that's what we call them. I didn't want to say. What would you call yourself? What would you call bud tenders? I don't want to go bud tenders, you fucking idiot. You know, I didn't want to sound stupid, but I felt like I sounded stupid asking. I'm like, so what is your job title? She's like, bud tender? I'm like, oh, well, okay.
Just making sure.
And I was like, well, I got podcasts. And I'm like, okay. They also didn't seem impressed by the podcast.
See, and any time that we bring it up here
like,
to our bud tenders, they get so hype about it.
Yeah. Or they brush it off, but I feel like they get more excited about it. But I never say it to get people excited. I just say it as the reason why I'm holding a journal and taking notes in your store. I don't take notes in Michigan stores because they're not all the same, but they're all similar.
Yeah, they're same enough to where if you've gone to one...
You've gone to enough of them.
You know how the rest
of them work. They are pretty different. Yeah. But between Alaska stores and Michigan stores, they don't check you in. They don't have a limit of customers to bud tenders. So you can really just walk in as long as you're 21 or up. You can walk around, look at stuff.
Yeah, you compared it to like a liquor store.
Yeah, it's like a liquor store. But sometimes they card at the door, sometimes they card on purchase. But all the weed's like behind the desk, so that's not different. That's the same. A lot of the stores sold merch.
Oh yeah.
Which was, I think, a little different. I don't recall our stores really selling merch.
Some of them do, but it's very limited. Like I do know that Bud Brothers does against their one farther wall. That's like on the opposite end of the store.
But do they have Bud Brothers merch, specifically Bud Brothers, or is it just like merchandise? 'Cause that's what I mean. Is these stores will sell store-specific merchandise like shirts, hats, sweatshirts, hoodies.
Because I know like Smoke Society sells like Backpack Boys merch, like backpacks, hoodies, which stuff like cool. That.
Expensive
like strain merchandise.
Yeah.
Or like brand.
No. That's
but
what
not
I mean. Is
store. I've never seen a place sell store merch.
Yeah. Badger Buds, which is the first shop I went to up there, had some of the coolest looking merch. Not in my fucking size. Very upsetting. I would have bought, but not my size. Womp womp. Badger Buds is just such a cool name for a pot shop.
Yeah.
So I went to 3 different pot shops. I went to Badger Buds, Pipe and Leaf, and Honey Pot.
I like Honey Pot.
Honey Pot was my favorite looks wise. Pipe and Leaf was a very like upscale look store, but it wasn't. Honey Pot was more expensive for sure.
See, I would think almost like the opposite of like I would expect Honey Pot to be like more upscale, and then like Pipe and Leaf to be more like almost old-timey bookstore. Not old and decrepit, but like
no, I know what you mean.
More.
Yeah. It was
more Sherlock Holmes.
It was very very professional. It gave me kind of like a Smoke Society, like a smaller Smoke Society. It was really, really nice. It was calm. There was only one bud tender at all these stores. Only one person working.
Oh,
they don't have security. They don't have security doors.
Oh.
Which is very jarring. It's a huge culture shock. It's like, what the fuck's going on? They don't
I know.
care.
You feel like you miss a step.
Yeah, I'm like, am I supposed to be back here? When I first got there, I went to Badger Buds. I went into the first door and I stood there. And I waited for her to come up to the front to take my card. She's like, you just come back. I'm like, oh, okay. I felt dumb, but that is very different. That's a huge difference.
So if you're planning to go to Alaska,
you can just
don't stand awkwardly at the door, I guess.
Yeah, you can just go in. It's not a big deal. What the fuck is this? No call.
Huh?
I wrote a word, but I can't read it.
Can I read your handwriting better than you?
Oh, never mind. I see what it says. Okay, so Badger Buds, small shop, friendly staff. All of the shops I went to had really friendly staff, super nice people. Pipe and Leaf, the guy talked to me for the longest, and I asked him a shit ton of questions.
Oh, jeez.
They all sold pretty much the same stuff. Edibles, flour, pre-rolls, vapes. That was a big difference, too, was the vapes were very expensive. It was like, the cheapest cart was $50.
Holy! Oh my god!
Now, of course, I wasn't shopping around for vapes because at the time I didn't have a checked bag, so I didn't plan to fly one back.
Yeah.
And after I did have a checked bag, I only went to Honey Pot, and they said $50 was their cheapest. So I said, fuck that. I'm not buying a $50 cart and then a battery.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, that's all right. I'm good.
For comparison, for anyone listening that is in Alaska, our average cart price is like $8.
Yeah.
$8 to $10. Like that is average for like a good quality cart, like platinum brand cart. Which granted, those have been shit lately, but like my play cart was $5, I think.
I've got a
or no, I think it was 10.
Somewhere. We got a. It's not a cart. It's the whole vape. It's the size of a cart. It was $15. I haven't smoked it yet, so I don't know if it's I can't speak on the quality of it, but it's $15. Also, while we're talking about the difference, we talked about the difference between Michigan and Alaska, but never said what Michigan limit is. So it's 1 ounce in Alaska. In Michigan, it's 2.5 ounces a day. So.
Yeah, which you can get 2.5 ounces, I feel like, probably for half the price of the ounce at Alaska.
Oh my god! Honestly, I mean, our dips, which is one of my favorite, which is kind of a mid-tier ounce, maybe a lower price ounce, is $79 for an ounce. The cheapest ounce at Honey Pot, $200.
Huh!
So put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Oh.
Then go into debt.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was insane.
I could never.
Their
I'm so
highest
sorry.
THC joint that they found that the guy had seen at Pipe and Leaf was 34% THC, which isn't, it's not tiny, but that's the highest
that he's ever seen.
that he's seen.
And I've seen,
and we have a joint right now, a whole gram joint that is 40% not infused, just pure bud. Flower, 40%
and
THC.
I think the highest I've
like
seen on
$11.
like an infused is like 42 or 43%.
We have a 44% infused.
Do we?
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing it, but I distinctly remember seeing 42. So that's why that was the only one I knew for certain.
I think
without exaggerating.
That might be what the flower, the just flower is, but I know for sure.
That's insane.
We have at least a 40%.
That's like an average.
Like, that's a lot.
That's like an average infused.
Yeah.
Here.
That's even sometimes higher than most infused. So I guess average is pretty apt.
Yeah, average, and that's the THC
middle.
content of an average infused joint here. And mind you, that is going off of, as well, Dragonfly infused,
which are great.
Which are $2.25 each gram pre-roll. $2.25, not $225.
And you would not find a $2 pre-roll
literally anywhere
in Alaska. Or at least
you can,
out of the 3 stores I've gone to, I can't speak on the entirety.
You can sniff the jar for $2.25.
Yeah, I mean, it was disappointing to say the least. It wasn't very strong weed. It wasn't any better tasting. The price was justified to me because he said all of the equipment and all of the things you need to grow weed, like the lights, the fertilizers, the chemicals
in their climate,
all of that, and they can only grow indoors. All of that they have to ship in from the lower 48, so they have much higher shipping costs on that stuff. So their weed is just higher, which is unfortunate for sure.
Yeah.
But,
I
didn't think it was...
Based off of what you've said, I could not believe that Alaskan weed is superior to any other state.
I would say it's not superior to Michigan for sure. I can't speak on California or Colorado. And now I do want to go to California and Colorado just for these. Yeah, we got
December we might be going to... We'll probably be going to California in December.
Man, I can't wait to fly. Another 4-hour time difference. I'm still getting over the last one.
I know. With your experience with that, I'm definitely going to take an extra day off of work. I don't care if it's paid or not. Literally just to acclimate.
Yeah, honestly. I'm going to take another week off, honestly. Holy shit.
We'll see.
Yeah.
That's a later this year
thing. All right. So another thing that I've asked about. So in Michigan, when stores open, celebs will show up to stores. Like Snoop Dogg has opened a few stores, not like his own personal stores, but he's been to
openings.
Yeah, I know Snoop's been to openings here, and then I went to the House of Dank Christmas party last year, and that was chock full of celebrities. That was really cool. I was working it. I wasn't I didn't have an
attending.
invite. Maybe this year? How's it dang?
Mm-mm.
Maybe next year. Maybe if the podcast blows up, we'll get invited. That'd be cool.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they had content creators there, so it's not unheard of. But I asked them about celebrities. They said the guy at Pipe and Leaf said he's never heard of celebrities showing up. So
Dang. Well, I guess.
it is way out of the way. So it would be crazy for celebrities to go to.
I guess, yeah. Because especially like
I was
here
also
in
only
Michigan.
in Fairbanks, so maybe in Anchorage.
Yeah.
I
I could
asked
see.
about chains because in Michigan we have huge chains,
Mm-hmm.
like really big chain stores, pot shops, which is wild. And they said that's rare. There's a few like smaller chains, but for the most part they're all more mom and poppy.
Mm.
So that's kind of
Yeah,
neat.
we have like the first one that comes to mind for me is Dispo.
Yeah, Dispo is a chain. Smoke
Is
Society's not. Elite's a chain.
is House of Dank a
House
chain?
of Dank's a chain.
Yeah.
There's one in Saginaw. There's like 3 in Detroit.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of chains around here. Pincana is a chain.
Is it
If
a
I'm not
chain?
mistaken, I'm pretty sure they are.
And I always said Pincana, but
Maybe it's Pincana.
because and
But
I
would
didn't
say
think it would be a
Pincana
chain.
because like Pincaning.
Yeah. That's why and I mean I say Pincana because
Cannabis.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Another thing that was different, were you can advertise on the radio and in print. I saw print ads for
guess I
cannabis
didn't-
chains, and I heard radio ads for pot shops.
See, I don't listen to the radio or look at any
And
newspapers.
I
So like
do listen to the radio at work. Never once heard a pot shop advertised.
yeah.
So
but it makes sense
I don't know
that
if they can't or they don't.
I have to believe that they can't.
It could also be that I just listened to the wrong radio station. But we were listening to similar radio station because I don't pick the radio station when I'm not driving.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not one of those idiots.
Yeah, so the music that you listen to at work
Yeah,
is
it's
very
very
similar to what
similar.
you were listening to up there. So you would
So-
expect the same or similar.
Yeah. Okay, so the price difference is kind of enormous. Their half-gram pre-rolls are more expensive than our whole-gram pre-rolls. They are the same or worse in THC content. I mean, weed tastes like weed, so can't really say much on that.
Which I guess is a good thing in this regard. At least
Yeah.
it's not trash.
Right. Yeah, and I didn't really look at any flower, so I can't speak on the quality of buds. Because I didn't have a grinder or a bowl or papers, and I didn't feel like rolling joints while I was on vacation.
Yeah.
So I only got pre-rolls, which were expensive. As I've said, they were on average like $8. Fucking God. Yeah, on average they were $8. The cheapest ones I found were like $5, and that was at Pipe and Leaf. So they had some of the better prices I've seen. I'm looking at the cameras, see what they're barking at.
Check.
Who would have thought? Literally nothing. So that's crazy.
What do you do? Thanks, dogs.
Yeah. I took quite a few notes. Packaging on the weed, same, except they ask you if you want a bag. They don't just put it in a bag. And
Yeah,
hand it to
here you can't leave without a bag.
Yeah.
It has to be, I think, in a secure bag.
I don't think it has to be a secure bag. I think it has to be in a bag because there's some
Oh.
stores that give you plastic bags.
Yeah, Elite's new
Yeah, but-
reusable bag that used to get you a free pre-roll and was an amazing bag. Now just
And
gets
then they
you a
don't do-
hole punch for a free eighth.
Yeah, which is still pretty cool. Oh, hey,
But now
I might
you have
give
to
a free
visit
eight.
10 times
Right.
for an eighth.
Oh well. If you go often enough, I mean, I go to Bud Brothers often enough. I get my 10 punches quick. Too
They don't
quick.
do a punch card.
They have a punch card at Bud Brothers.
Oh, they've never given me one.
Oh, you should ask. I've got one. I got 2 now. 'Cause
Jeez.
I always forget to bring it in. I'm not gonna say that. I'll tell you off air.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, packaging very similar. Their pre-roll the canisters are still 1 gram pre-roll canisters, but there's only half-gram joint in it.
How
That kind
deceitful.
of pissed me off because I was kind of unaware it was only a half-gram.
Especially at first.
Because I didn't think I'd have to ask. I assumed.
Yeah, because here you don't get really half grams unless it's
Yeah.
like a 5-pack of like Roses or Jeter.
Yeah, they said $8. I'm like, fucking crazy. I guess $8 for a gram joint. Whatever.
And then it's $8
And it
for
was
a
$8 for a half gram.
gram.
I'm like, what the fuck? For half the cost.
I can't believe you kept smoking. I would have told you to not. I would have said can't afford it.
For a quarter of the cost of the half-gram Alaskan joint, I could buy a 1 gram infused joint.
Yeah.
In Michigan. So if I ever moved to Alaska, I would grow. And you can't grow outside because the fucking day-night cycles are awful. And the weather's terrible for growing pot.
So if anyone in Alaska is looking to move, move to Michigan. It's going to save you a lot of fucking money.
Michigan did outdo California in sales by volume, if I'm not mistaken. Is what we said on one podcast. So
something like that.
You know, we're going places with our pot game. We're certainly one of the better ones. Yep. $200 ounce, cheapest.
Insanity.
They all had pretty good like lists. They did a good job of having Honey Pot had like a little booklet you could flip through, see what they had for pre-rolls and flour. That was pretty good.
That's nice, especially considering that it's all like behind the counter.
And really nice considering it's so fucking expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I could not smoke up there the way I smoke down here. Not because the weed's stronger, because the weed's fucking wildly expensive. I'd have to have a dealer that
gave it to you for Michigan prices.
Yeah, they gave it to me for
which
at
literally
least
they
Michigan
couldn't
prices.
do.
Apparently not. We could go up there right now and have the nastiest fucking grow operation. And we could be raking in money. Like, it'd cost us... I couldn't imagine it cost us all that.
Did you ever ask, like, how much you're allowed to have, like, in your home?
Oh, I did, but the person I asked didn't know.
Dang.
So
because what is it here? I can't remember. I know
here,
you can have 6
plants per person, of age, up to 12 plants total.
Okay.
So we can have 12 plants, and they have to be hidden from public view. Which for us wouldn't really be an issue.
Right.
Alaska. Home grow weed rules. I don't want to say
what
laws.
a Google.
Okay. Any household with at least one adult 21 and older is allowed 12 plants. Oh, that's Michigan. What the fuck?
Alaska.
Okay, so we can have 12. I said Alaska. Okay.
It probably went off your current location.
I said Alaska home grow weed rules.
I know, but if you heard what I just said.
I heard what you said. Why the fuck would it give me Michigan? Why would it
because
go
of your current location.
Okay. Yeah, but it still doesn't make any sense. I'm on a private browser. They shouldn't be using my current location. Apple, Safari, what the fuck? I didn't give you permission. In the private residences, adults 21 or older are allowed up to 6 plants where no more than 3 are mature and flowering. Holy shit.
What?
So you can really only have 3 mature
Even
plants.
Worse. Alaska, what the fuck are you doing?
What the fuck's the point?
Change your legislation.
So in Michigan, you can have 12 mature plants. I think it's 12 plants total, but they can all be mature.
Yeah, they don't specify how many you can have.
You can only have fucking 3 mature plants and 6 total plants. And I think that was per household. So, what the fuck?
That's insane.
Yeah, you have to smoke in private, but you have to do that in Michigan too. Can't smoke and drive.
Same
Same
here.
here. Yeah, nothing's really that different. I mean that's pretty fucking different though, you know.
You can only have 3 mature at a time.
Yeah, and you got 6. So they're counting on you to be an Uber grower and know mature rates and make sure they're never mature at the same time. So as soon as 3 mature, you gotta harvest those fuckers quick. But you can only grow indoors, so I'm not confident how you'd be busted on these laws. I'm
I
not
have
saying
no
test
idea.
it, but I mean, how the fuck would they know?
I have no idea.
Yeah, like, were they gonna knock on your door? It doesn't say if to register your plants. In Michigan, you don't.
Mm-mm.
Oh, I know in Michigan they'll fly over sometimes with thermal drones or thermal vision helicopters and planes, and they'll look to see if they have too many heat signatures. But that only applies to outdoor plants,
Yeah.
and you can't have outdoor plants in Alaska, period. Not by law, but by weather, by Mother
Yeah.
Nature.
It's like you can have them outside, but
They're
it's
just gonna
gonna
fucking die. It's gonna be worthless.
yeah, you're not gonna get anywhere with it.
Yeah, you're not gonna have 6 months of fucking sunlight. So, yeah, I don't know.
That's so weird.
Yeah, a bunch of weird laws, bunch of weird weed, bunch of expensive weed. I made a video while I was up there. It didn't turn out very well, so that probably won't go anywhere. Maybe I'll cut it and do it, but I don't know, man. I don't know how the weed industry's doing at all good up there with those prices. That's outrageous.
Yeah, that is
So,
really insane.
and that kind of concludes my review of Alaskan weed. Wouldn't recommend. Too pricey.
Yeah.
Not for me.
Yeah, it doesn't sound worth it at all.
Yeah, I think next time I visit, if it's not free, I'm not smoking.
Yeah, no, can't afford it.
It's so much cheaper to just get drunk.
It's one thing if you're gonna get, like, I have to assume that Alaskan income on average is higher as well.
I don't think so.
If it is, then it doesn't matter. But if it's not, that's so stupid. Like, that's where I would get from, like, a parent standpoint of, like, you can just be more financially responsible than smoking weed.
It is. It's about $6,000 more a year than Michigan.
Okay,
But
so that's not...
that doesn't translate in the weed price. The
No.
weed price is still outrageous. But I mean, my brother got a job where he'd make enough to afford it, but he doesn't smoke because of his job. What a catch-22. But his roommate does smoke it, and he's got a job that also pays him
well enough
to afford it, but barely. The job he had before, he was spending, I think they said, like... Cat, you better fuck off. I think they said, like, at least 20% of his income was weed alone.
That's disgusting.
But that's not because he's buying a ton of weed. That's because he's buying, like, a joint a day, dude. It's out fucking outrageous how expensive that shit is up there.
Yeah.
Especially after...
He just wasn't getting paid enough for...
Just before we left.
Mm-hmm.
Bud Brothers had a deal, 1 ounce for $17.
Yeah.
And then I go to that fucking place, and it's $200 for the cheapest ounce I can get. That's insane, dude.
Yeah,
I'm gonna smoke an ounce.
That's quite literally disgusting.
I'd probably smoke at least 7 grams a day, or not a day. That'd be gnarly.
Christ.
About 7 grams a week.
Yeah, about 1 gram a day.
Yeah, not right now, obviously, because I'm on a break. I'm on a tolerance break.
Yeah, we both desperately need it right now.
Yeah, I think I'd be all right, but might as well take a little break. I haven't had beer.
It helps keep
time.
it even cheaper.
Yeah, I need a break after seeing my fucking finances get drained by Alaskan Kush.
Yeah, that shit's
That was
insane.
supposed to be so
Me
much
too.
better.
Really, it's not almost a tolerance break. It's more rebuilding the finance loss.
It's a financial break. If these, we need to do better numbers. We need more ad revenue. I can't afford a trip to Alaska off this.
No.
I'd like to try going to Colorado. I'd imagine they'd have cheaper weed.
Or at
Maybe
least
cheaper than
comparable
us?
price.
Yeah, at least closer than what fucking Alaska has. Holy shit. It's in the lower 48, so they can't pull we gotta ship shit in from the lower 48.
I know.
Homie, you
That
are
was
the
like
lower
Alaska's
48.
like saving grace of like,
They're like,
don't
we have
worry.
to ship it in. It's like,
Right, but
fucking
for
better.
$183
that
more
extra bit.
dollars
So
per
maybe
ounce.
if you factor in the shipping in material, I guess, what do you call it? Because they're not shipping in weed. You can't ship weed. Or I mean, you're not opposed to. They all said that their grows are in Alaska, so I'd buy it. I believe them.
When?
But but like the stuff to grow, the fertilizers and shit, are from us, the lower 48. That factored in with the extra $6,000.
Watch, this is the episode that someone from like the UK is listening to and is very confused about what the lower 48 is.
Oh, it's the lower 48 states.
Yeah, because
Not
Alaska's
counting,
Alaska's not
Hawaii,
attached to.
because Hawaii's also not attached to us.
Yeah.
But we own that shit anyway. Kind of like the UK tried owning the majority of the world. How'd that go?
I know.
What was it? Every single day, there's a country that celebrates its independence from the UK.
Yep, every day of the year.
Damn.
There is a country in the world that is celebrating its independence from the British Empire.
What a fall off.
British Empire, whatever it is.
USA.
Ours is July 4th. What's yours in the comments?
You can see me, but I was psyching them out.
Jesus Christ.
I was trying to get him to jump. I like to imagine some guy in the UK did jump when I did that.
No.
He didn't see me, but he flinched. He's like, "Fuck, I flinched for?" Like, oh. No. All right. Well, I mean, there's my review of Alaska weed.
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
very
have,
glad
like,
it was you and not me because.
Yeah, your review was stopped after the first pit stop. Bought one joint. Like, I'm not buying any fucking more.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't have wasted my money.
I was doing very thorough research. I didn't buy from every shop I went to. I bought from 2 of the 3 shops I went to, so maybe I did buy from every shop. I think I did. I think I got a joint from oh yeah, because it was only $5.
Only $5.
Yeah, I mean all the other ones fucking $8. It sucks to say only 5. They're cheapest joints. They're like twice our infused joints, and it's half the size and not infused. Outrageous, outlandish. I'm over it.
Yeah.
I'm not moving to Alaska on that point alone. I'm not addicted, but by God, I like weed a little bit more than fucking spending 20% of my paycheck on it.
Yeah. That's insane.
Outrageous. It explains why every time I go to a store, there was at most 2 people. Compared to here, where there's at least 2 bud tenders. There's like 2 bud tenders and then someone working the door.
Yep.
There's 3 people typically working in Michigan shops.
I know, the one time I
There's
went to
only 2 I
Bud
have.
Brothers, it was literally so slow that they did end up having like the door propped open when I got there.
Yeah.
But that's because
did a
the lady working the counter was labeling Dragonfly pre-roll canisters because they're all crinkled and shitty.
Yeah.
But hey, I told her, I'm like, if it's gotta be something to make these things as cost effective as they are, I guess I'll take it in the packaging as opposed to the quality of the product.
So the quality has been diminishing, but we'll talk about that in a future episode. We've got a few reviews we have to do.
Yeah.
And Dragonfly, come on, man. Come on, man.
You're better than
What
this.
the hell? What happened?
You're better than
Well, for
this.
$2.25, I mean.
I'll go back to pay. I'll go to paying like $3.75, $4.
Yeah, if you stop fucking them up. Yeah, I'll go back to goddamn Jeter and Roses, pal. You better check yourself, Dragonfly. You're not that
I
good.
get that you're getting cheap, but
Yeah, come on. There shouldn't be
it's
holes in
showing.
my cup.
It's really showing.
Yeah, and we'll go over all that
In a future episode. Jinx.
Aw.
All
All right. Well, I'll see you next weekend, guys.
right. Bye-bye.
Bye.